Welcome to day 19 of our 99 days. I had to shift the timing again from 9 to 2, so I don't know if you've picked it all up and if anyone is able to watch this at this time of the day, but that's all okay. It's funny, the first few days I was really like watching if there would be anyone live, and luckily there were at that time. And now it does not really matter. It almost feels like you're watching me live, even though it's not at the same moment. It's almost like this sense of linear time does not exist when I do this live session. It's really interesting. Today I want to talk about curiosity and inner drive. And it came up after a very nice and open discussion I had yesterday. But actually, two people also joined this group. And it made me so aware again of the fact that there are two things really necessary, almost like a prerequisite to go through these 99 days and to open up to new ideas. And that is, the first one is curiosity. It's not in the order whether inner drive or curiosity comes first. It doesn't really matter, but both are equally important. Because we almost need like this childlike curiosity to explore new things, to explore new ideas, to really open ourselves up to what we hear, and also to open up to what we feel and what we experience when we look at our lives. And this, the reason why I call it curiosity, because it needs this lightness and this vulnerability and enthusiasm as well, like a child almost. And not almost, it is really like the curiosity of a child. Because a young child can be curious without any expectation of the outcome, without any restrictions of opinions, or without any restrictions of labeling. It's just curious. It just wants to find out. Because it wants to explore life. It wants to understand when it's young how things work. And it's completely unconscious. And this pure nature of curiosity is kind of what we lost along the way. While we're getting programmed with ideas about how life should be or must be. And we even say that is what life is, because that feels so real to us. And that's why it's so difficult to get in this state of pure curiosity again. Because our mind is like constantly actually asking questions or even coming up with ideas that you should not be exploring new things, because it's not like that. It just tells you, no, are you really sure you want to explore another idea? Because this is what it is. This is what you've been told for many years, 30, 40, 50. And this is how you see life. And when that opinion is really strong, and how you look upon life and how you look upon what's happening in the world and how you look upon yourself, when that opinion is really strong, it completely blocks your curiosity. And I don't mean the curiosity of gaining knowledge on a certain topic, like an intellectual knowledge. That's also a kind of curiosity, but that's more like want to become an expert in something or a deep dive in something. But this is really more like an open curiosity, really wondering every single second, like, okay, how can I explore this? And what do I feel? And what do I sense? And don't label what you sense. Don't label what you think. Just explore it. Just open up to it. Not even wanting to know new insights. Just not even wanting to debate whether what I say is true or not. It's just pure receiving it and then open up to it for yourself, reflect on it, sense it, whatever the topic is more focused on, and then just be curious. Be really as curious as a child can be. Because this curiosity also makes it lighter. And we need this lightness because the transformation can be intense. When things come up, the pain or the revelation, how much you have blocked for so many years, that's painful. And that's okay when you're in that pain to just purely acknowledge that. That's needed as well, because then you need to surrender into that. But those waves or those things, those painful experiences come in waves. So when you're really down because something has come to the surface for you during these 99 days, or whatever happens in your life, and old memories come up, then really open up to that pain and surrender to it. You don't, at that moment, you don't even have to be curious. It's just pure surrender. But when that wave is over and you're the next day you feel lighter, or you feel a little bit lighter, then in this lightness you can become curious again. You can open up to exploration, and then, of course, the second wave comes, or the third one, or the fourth one. But they'll become less overwhelming in the sense that they don't come as a sudden surprise. You kind of know, okay, this is another deep dive within, and pain comes up, and I open up to it, I surrender, and I trust, and I know that I will be lighter afterwards. And that doesn't make the pain less. But it's nice to know that there is a lighter top of the wave after that. And I know it feels dark and deep and frustrating when you're in the lower point of the wave. I would almost say that cannot be changed. You cannot go through this with only pure lightness, because then you're probably ignoring some things of yourself. But if you're in a neutral state, or if you just feel quite okay and quite relaxed, and it's sunny outside, and then just open up to your curiosity. Just pretend you're a child again. Be curious what you're thinking. Be curious what the story is like that's made up right now in your mind, or when you get triggered. What is it that my mind is telling me? And then you can also open up to anything in life that's presented. Just how you perceive the news, how you perceive world economics at this moment. That was what the discussion was about yesterday. and how you can open up to other perspectives on that. And if you are not able to open up to other perspectives, what does that tell you? Are you not ready for it? That's fine. But be honest again. You're just not ready. That's okay. Even if your opinion is really strong, like it's not like that, that's okay. There's no judgment if in the sentence you're not ready. It's just not the moment to open up. And of course, there is a basic acknowledgement in this that there is no truth with a small t. Truth in the sense that there's always a different perspective to any situation, because no one in this world has all the information. And when you look at power structures, that's for sure that not all information is shared. Because from that ego perspective and from that power perspective, it's sometimes useful not to share everything. But it can be quite frightening and threatening and fearful if you find information about the same topic from another source which shows something completely differently. So I experience world news not such thing as something which is an absolute truth. I'm just really curious how things work in the world. How can we as humans, as mankind, become so evil with each other? How did that happen? We're all born as pure, innocent childs. I strongly believe that. Perhaps we had a blueprint which makes us more open to certain traits and certain personalities. Which goes towards narcissism or the need for power. But I think most of it, why people change, is because of the context they grew up in, the experience they had when they were young, and the influences they have in their surroundings, the people they grew up with and they met in their lives. So how, as mankind, it's really something that really, it's not puzzles me, but I'm just really curious. How did we get so far? How did we get so far that we are okay with the fact that there is war? At least a lot of people are. And they rationalize themselves because they think it's a necessity to prevent something else. Or to defend something. And in this moment, the chaos in the world is quite big. And I hope it's like in nature, you need chaos for change. And I hope this is the days before there is a huge change to the positive side. I'm just a positive thinker, I think. So I really hope that. And if not, then, well, life will show. If I could do something about it on world level, I would do it. But if not, then I'll just stay open and curious and just sense what resonates for me at that moment. But still, don't take it as a truth. More like, okay, this feels quite okay. Or I just don't know. I don't have enough information. So I don't have an opinion, a strong opinion on this, because I just simply don't know. I can only say it doesn't feel right or it feels good. And with my small passion to raise consciousness, I believe I can have some contribution to this hugely world problem, just to raise consciousness person by person. I know it's a very small contribution, but at least it's something. This curiosity to open up to anything in life is really, now has become really playful, and it's energizing to me. And sometimes I catch myself and I think like, oh no, I'm too strong in an opinion again. Open up again, open up, be curious. So there's nothing wrong with having opinions for about certain topics. But if you hold on to that opinion because you want to cover up something else, a fear that's underneath it, then that's just blocking yourself from feeling liberated. So, and I've always talked about the reason why I believe so strongly in doing these 99 days is because you need dedication and commitment. But this morning I was aware that you actually just need an inner drive. That's the most important thing first. So it's this combination of curiosity and an inner drive, because this inner drive it feeds your curiosity. Like there is an inner knowing, there is an inner drive to want to know something. There's an inner drive to know more about who you are and why you're here. I know this question sounds very philosophical. And I always used to laugh when I was young about these questions. Who am I? But actually, it's the only thing I'm doing these days. And also, a child has this inner drive to learn. It has an inner drive to learn how to cycle a bike. At least in Holland, it's very strong because we all learn that so easily as a child. And it doesn't matter for a child how many days it takes or how many weeks it takes. Every day he wants to practice it again. He's asking, Mommy or Daddy, please help me. I want to practice cycling again. And it, at least with my children, it went with so much fun for them. They really loved doing the practice because there was this inner drive. I want to be able to ride a bike. You could say they just want to copy it because you as a parent drive a bike. But there's also some like this energy within to learn and explore something new. We all have that. And if you're here with these 99 days, then there's probably something within you that has sparked this inner drive to know who you are. Because if that is not sparked by now, after 80, 90 days, I would be really curious if you could hold on to the 99 days. Because this is not an exercise of the mind, if I talk about an inner drive. This inner drive comes from your heart. It doesn't come from the mind. If it would come from the mind, you would read many books and just stick with that. Just read it, take it as an intellectual knowledge, and never put it into practice. And then you have become another expert of how life is. But it's different being an expert of how life is, like from an intellectual perspective, than living it. Walk your talk. be it, embody it. So as you have noticed during these 99 days, I'm, I'm focusing on two areas. It's how the mind works and how I've been caught up by, how I became caught up by labels and patterns and belief systems and interpretations, and that's all in the mind. And the other side is the embodiment. Open up to the rest of your body, to the senses, to open up to your heart. So if it just is an inner drive, or it's just a drive to know, like intellectually knowing, understanding how it works, it won't change your life. But if you also are open to explore within, then it becomes real. And the other extreme is that you completely leave the intellectual experience and completely leave the embodiment, and you just are in a constant state of Buddha. You just meditate all day. And you don't connect to life, you just sit on your pillow and be in peaceful or happy bliss state most of the time. So that's the other extreme. From that stage, you don't even have to know how it works. You just are. But that doesn't sound very enticing to me. I want to experience it. I want to feel the difference. I want to explore it. I want to feel the change. That comes, for me, it comes really from an inner drive. There's no one telling me, and no one did tell me, like, you should explore this. It just was there. It came. And it was different from my always need for self-reflection when I was younger, because that self-reflection came from the criticus within me. I was the one who was always judging myself. Am I good enough? So people would like me, or I will be approved of by others, or I would fit in. So I was able to self-reflect, but not from a perspective of knowing who I am, the true me, but more to fit in and to become better at something, and to be a nice person, and to be liked, and to be successful. That was just a mind exercise. And I don't always like these inner explorations. I still don't like it when I'm caught by a trigger. And I go into the story and I just cannot hold myself. I just go back straight into the mind, and then bam, there it goes. The emotions are there, and it feels so real at that moment. And then the next day I think, like, how the hell is that still possible? After 7 years of practice, how is that still possible? And then a few hours later I can smile again. Well, okay, you're not there yet. Fine, you probably will never be. Are you okay with that? But can you make it a little bit lighter? So it's this curiosity and this inner drive that really helps you So find for yourself if you can make connection to this inner drive. You might have unconsciously felt it because you said yes to these 99 days. And you didn't say yes because you know me and you thought, like, I'm really curious how she does it, because then you won't last for 99 days, which is fine. You can also look at me for 99 days and just don't do anything with it. That's fine too. But if you know with this question, like this confirmation of this inner knowing, it doesn't come up like a full yes, but it's more like this resonance you feel within, like, yes, I do want to explore this. I do want to make this change because it feels like the next step in life. And then it's easier when there's a lot of resistance about a certain topic, or even a lot of like, oh, this is not for me, doesn't resonate at all. Then to anything I say, just open up with curiosity. Why do I have resistance? Or why do I believe that this is not something that resonates for me? What am I ignoring here? Because I believe if anything I've said up until now, for anyone, for you, there is something in it. So if it doesn't resonate now, it might resonate in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Resonate in the sense like, oh, there's a message here I can hear, I can receive. So you can't be curious at every single level yet. It just comes it just comes when it's the right time for you. But it will help you if you feel anything like resistance or difference towards the subject. Can I be curious here? Can I just openly explore, empty myself, and just listen to it? And see if there's something that resonates. Because if you go into a certain topic and you think, well, this is nothing for me, then you won't hear the message. And you won't also not feel what happens within you. So after this, no, not after, but if you're aware of this curiosity and this inner drive, then the next step will automatically be that you want to practice. If you don't have this curiosity and inner drive, if you don't have a connection with that, then it will be a very tough one to practice this. To open up to your bodily senses and start practicing, because it's so hard in the beginning if you're unfamiliar with it, and frustrating. Unless you're a real disciplined one, then you might be able to go through it. But even then, I would almost say it's very healthy to get frustrated. It's very healthy to feel resistance. It's very healthy to unbelieve something at first. And I realized that there have been many different topics so far, and these first weeks are, to me, kind of set a foundation that I touch upon different subjects. And I need to, or it feels like, well, it comes up like this. It feels like I have to touch upon different subjects in order to paint the whole picture. First, and if the picture is a little bit more clear to you, then we can go a little bit deeper, or I can repeat the message again, and then you will receive it differently because you understand how it's all interlinked. Not one subject so far stands alone. It's all interlinked with the other subjects I discussed so far. So be curious. My connection to this inner drive. Explore it. I would almost say welcome it openly, embrace it, be happy with it. And enjoy this beautiful day here, at least in Holland. It's beautiful weather. I'll see you tomorrow very early. So I have to go to Belgium again. And, well, have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.